Shortly after moving to Cranbrook, I converted my windshield wipers from these two holes here to the top. And that was because my windshield linkages were shot and they only supplied the ones that go on the top, but it's also better for the windshield wipers on ends like this to be at the top. Problem is I never hooked up the windshield washing fluid to actually go from the top. So it was just on these two little hoses here and it would just sort of spread out onto the hood. If you're driving fast enough, it would hit the windshield. But I want to fix that, so I am going to repurpose some of the old hosing to actually create my own hose that will run up the middle between these two windshields and then connect at a T at the top. You can buy a conversion kit on Mill Supply to do this, but the way they have it is kind of dumb because they take it from both those, they put it back into one, bring it up, and then split it again, which is just silly because it comes from one hose out of the pump. So I'm going to do my version of this for a lot cheaper. Alright, so I went down to Napa Auto Parts and I bought some of the hosing and stuff that I needed. I brought down this bit here, which is the original T. So this bit here would come from the pump, split off, and then this would go to both of the windshield wipers. Now, this is going to be moved to the top of the windshield, and I will have this directly connect to these bits here, which will be replacing the tubing which is already in one of the windshield wipers. It's missing in the other one for some reason, and it wasn't quite long enough in the other one, so I bought 2 feet of this little one here. Both of these will come off here. I have these little teeny clips here, which can take this large bit here and connect it into these small ones. This thicker bit here is going to connect to this one here and run down to the hose connected to the actual pump. Okay, that one's on there, nice and tight. So I now have this big T of hosing ready to go and connect to the windshield wipers. Okay, so I've just taken this outside. I'm going to start by hooking up the 2 windshield wipers to the T parts of this hose. Okay, here you can see this cable here, which was the original one, and it's a little too short. It goes through this spring here, and then it connects up to this little part right here, which sticks out like this one here. Okay, so here I've taken this and just put it through the spring, and now it should fit into this little receptacle here. Pop out this end, and then fit right onto this nozzle right here. Just like that. Okay, so I've hooked both those up and the cable is a little bit too long, so I've just left them in loops for now. That way I have some room to play with and it shouldn't really affect the wiper at all. Now I just need to hook this up. Okay, so I've just popped open the hood here. This hose right here is what I need to connect to, and there's this little space right up here for the hose to go into. So let's just drop this in here and then I'll get it sorted out exactly where it needs to go once I've got it from the other side. So this little bit here that's been drilled, I've just pulled the cable in to fit there. Now I just need to connect it up here, but they're different sizes, so I've actually got a part that will connect these two together. That part looks like this, and basically you just cut it off to the size that you need for each side. I've just peeled back this gasket here, and there's a little hole in here that I need to get this through that I missed when I brought it through here. Okay, so that hole was just a little bit too tight for this cable, which is a little bit thicker than the one that came before it. So I just used a drill to widen that up a little bit. It's still using a 1/4 inch drill bit, but just enough so I can get it through here. And then I'll probably put some silicone over there when the time comes. Okay, so that is now connected, and the whole system should actually be working right now. So let me just close this down, and let's give it a shot. The first thing that I want to check is, do the windshield wipers move? Are they impaired at all? It doesn't appear so. Let's go take a look at the outside. So it moves back and forth at the top there, but should be fine. All right, now we're gonna put the key in and see if the windshield fluid comes out of here. Yes, and yes. Okay, so I just shut the fluid off because I didn't want to waste any, but it's working. Okay, so I've bought these cable clamps here because this top bit here is moving back and forth, and I kind of knew it would. Also, I want to keep this looking nice, so I just don't want it kind of being loose. I want to keep it down. So I will drill some holes and put these on, install it, and it should be done. Okay, so I've added in one of those little bits there with a self-tapping screw, and it's now keeping itself nice and in place. Okay, I've also added one just down here, and it's holding it nice and tight straight down the middle there, which looks pretty good in my opinion. The thing it doesn't look so good is this bit here, and I realize there's nothing special about that hole. It was just drilled, so I'm gonna drill a hole over here so that this can do the exact same thing and just look a little nicer. Okay, so I've just added that hole here, and that fits nicely down there. I just need to add one right here going through like I have over here. Okay, so I've just put in the hole here, and now I'm going to put this through. I'm also going to put a little bit of silicone in there just to seal it off. Okay, so I've put it through the hole and put silicone there. I've rehooked it up to this hose. I've also put silicone in the old hole so that hopefully it's a little less leaky. And now I'm going to move this here away from my brake reservoir here, just because it might leak. Okay, so I've just re-added this bit here, going over top of that hole once I gave the silicone a little bit of time to dry, which means this conversion is all done. Okay, so it might seem like a small thing, but I'm really happy that I've got this done. I should probably wrap this up because I've run out of windshield fluid and it's just scraping on the windshield now, which is what I was trying to avoid with this whole point of this video. So see you in the next one. Cheers, folks.